The book that I read was The Slow Food Story, Politics and Pleasure by Geoff Andrews. It tells about the history of the slow food movement and opens up the political and philosophical values that guide it. In this presentation, I will tell you what I see as most important in the action of slow food. These are the principle of good, clean and fair, slow food status as a political movement, why locality is important, the contradiction between fast and slow life, and the way a modern-day gastronome is defined in the book. The principle of good, clean and fair food guides slow food's politics and summarizes the philosophy of the movement. It takes into account both the sustainable point of view and the pursuit of pleasure. The good stands for the quality of the food. Good food is enjoyable, tasteful, brings pleasure, but doesn't harm the people and the nature around it. The clean stands for the naturalness of the food. This principle draws attention to the journey the food makes from the land to the table. Everything from production to consumption should be as ecologically sustainable as possible. The fair stands for the social justice and fairness in food production. Respect for the work of the producers and farmers, fair pay should be paid for their work, and overall equal treatment is to be pursued. According to the book, slow food seems to often be seen as an elitist food club. To talk of the pleasures of food and criticizing shopping in a supermarket for cheaper food will obviously raise opinions of it being meant for those well off and carefree of money. Despite of these opinions, slow food's roots actually come from political efforts to make an actual difference, whether it is about enhancing the working conditions of the producer or drawing attention to problems industrial agriculture has caused to people and environment. Drawing political attention to the actual issues in the area of food and sustainability is one of slow food's goals as a movement. The combination of pleasure and environmental responsibility in its philosophy give it a unique way of affecting politics and people's minds. The fast lifestyle has taken over our lives like a virus. Time seems to define everything. The need to be dynamic directs our lives. We seem to always be on the rush to be somewhere else than where we are right now. Slow food's critique of fast life goes well beyond just criticizing fast food. The fast way of life can be seen in how fast food chains and supermarkets dominate the markets. Together with globalization, a standardized culture has spread at the expense of traditions, diversity and cultural differences. It is characteristic to the fast lifestyle to see food and eating as a functional activity. It puts little value to taste and the proper enjoyment of food. The pleasure of sitting down at a table to enjoy a well-prepared meal together doesn't seem to fit the values of fast life. Slow living offers an alternative way of living. It emphasizes that everyday life should be approached with care and attention, living in the present in a pleasurable way while enjoying life. Through this slowness, it could be possible to reclaim time and pleasure back to ourselves and avoid jumping on the fast-going treadmill of modern life. The pleasures of good, clean and fair food should support this ideal way of living. Locality can be seen as a broader field of battle in slow food politics, as globalization has posed in a way a threat to original cultures and traditions. Slow food pursues to protect local identities, traditions and cultures. It is important to protect heritage and local identities in order to preserve the unique and diverse food cultures, traditional knowledge, and biodiversity. Valuing, for example, artisanal traditional delicacies keeps alive the knowledge and know-how of generations. The term eco-gastronomy pops up in the book. It combines the concern for the environment to gastronomic pleasure. This term was particularly interesting as I am majoring in sustainable gastronomy. A modern gastronome is not just someone who enjoys good food and considers oneself as a food expert. He or she also understands the need for sustainability when it comes to food. Environmental concern and gastronomic pleasure, together with a global and cultural perspective, make a modern-day gastronome.